I am pretty sure many of you were there in 2020 also, and we saw how the situation deteriorated in 2020, and we saw all of a sudden how things changed from a bust to a boom. In 2020, we saw how IT industry completely dominated this whole world economy. And now, since past 6 months, for past 6 months, we have been noticing there is some pessimism, and this was supported by, let's say, the earnings of most of our IT companies. That phenomenon was the fear of recession. And when that fear happens, all of a sudden, that optimism we saw in 2021 disappears. And exactly that was happening. Back in last 2 quarters, we have been seeing our own IT industry, which is Indian IT industry, has not been posting very good results. And what is worse is the future is looking bleak comparatively. Okay, though the order book is very strong for next couple of years. So when you have that order book, you have to execute those projects. So there is no immediate danger. But when the pessimism starts spreading, uh, your actions also are impacted because of that. That means the company's actions. So companies go slow on hiring, slow on their, let's say, investment, capex investment. Now we are back in 2022 with the quarterly result season. We are again starting with Accenture, and Accenture starts this whole discussion always. And this becomes very important for IT industry, especially the IT services industry in India or globally. And because it gives us a great picture of the economy, we can certainly say whatever outcomes or whatever considerations we see here, okay, parameters we see here, they are going to tell us a bigger picture about how the industry is faring. So without spending much time, and I'm pretty sure you are going to be really surprised to see the results. So let's deep dive into Accenture results. We have these numbers. If you look at some of the highlights, 16 billion total revenue in 1 quarter. Do remember that it's much bigger than Infosys. Infosys is close to $13 billion annually, but Accenture is bigger than Infosys in 1 quarter. So what Infosys does in a year, Accenture does more than that, at least 30% more than that in a quarter. What's interesting is their growth. They have been showing a consistent growth above 20% to 30%. That too in different regions, North America, Europe, and other markets. This is not a small growth. At this number, at $16 billion revenue, that growth is very difficult. When we dig down and we see how their different verticals are faring, communication, media, and technology is faring very well. Okay, led by 5G investments, cheap data rates. We are consuming lot of online material these days, so that is resulting in technology advancements and investments. Then the other segment is financial services and the communication and media technology. They both are about $3 billion businesses. Each vertical is there. Okay, and all of them, in fact, healthcare, health and public sector, and products, they are very big in size for them. Okay, uh, very interesting topic, which is operating margin. What we have been witnessing over last 2-3 quarters is, because of the supply side pressure, which is attrition related issues, we have been seeing that companies are trying to reward their employees, give them higher remunerations. That is impacting their operating profit margin. Not with Accenture, right? So Accenture is doing better than last year same time. That means they are doing 10% better than last year. So even if we assume that the attrition is there, somehow they are able to pass on that attrition cost to their customer. That is my belief. Okay, my own assumption is that, because Accenture, in my own knowledge, has been hiring in big number, and I'll give you the sample in a minute, so stay with me please. So if we go ahead, what's interesting is there are four important divisions: cloud, song, industry X, and security. All are growing really well. But look at this: cloud is very strong, security is very strong, industry very strong, double digits. Song, so this song vertical is I think Accenture Interactive. Okay, so all of them are growing really well. And what's more interesting is their future forecast about $17 billion in new booking. That gives a huge confidence. I'm telling you, this is going to give us another rally for next few days in IT industry, right? The IT stocks which have been beaten badly over last at least 3 months or 6 months, they will get us a sigh of relief with these numbers, because as long as the future demand is intact, and they are able to pass on these these costs to the customer, till that time there is no risk at all to the core business and the profitability. And this will have a positive impact tomorrow when the market opens in India, and tonight when the market opens in US, and you will see that. When I said they are passing on these costs to the companies or the customers, please believe me, it is not true for all the companies. There are only few companies which has that kind of command. Accenture is one of them. So let's go a bit more into detail. Let's see how their annual performance is so far in last 3 quarters of this year. Please remember, Accenture starts their quarter in August or September period. Okay, so June month is their Q3. So July, August, September. That means the result is till 31st of May, June, July, August. When this period is over, their new year will start from 1st of September. So in last 3 quarters, if you see, the total revenue is $46 billion, which is already 27%. Look at the growth. I have been telling you, from 40 billion, they are going to cross for sure. Look, they got about 16 billion in this quarter. If we assume the same figure, even if we don't assume, let's say we cut down on that, and 15 billion is a safer bet, we exceed $60 billion revenue annually. And just if you go back and see my videos, 1 year ago they were about 44 billion dollars. In 1 year they have done exceedingly well, which is 27% increase. Amazing. And when you look at the trailing 9-month performance, amazing result for any company of this scale. And this is same reflecting in their industry verticals, different industry verticals. What's interesting is they have been rewarding their shareholders big time, and despite that high cost of hiring, their operating margin has been improving. That's very key. So new booking as of today with this 17 billion in this quarter stands at 53 billion. And if we assume that last quarter might also see somewhere close by 15 billion, they are very close to about $70 billion in the new booking for 2022. Amazing numbers. Now we need to see some more data points, and those data points will give us some idea about how the other companies doing in other areas like attrition. So I am interested in that. And also one more factor, which is about their utilization ratio. So I want to see where that is. Let's find out that one. So here if you see, the consulting is fetching about $9 billion for them, and outsourcing is $7 billion. Total is about $16.96 billion in new bookings. That's very strong performance, really. And if we move little ahead, I am not going to go down into these numbers. If anybody has interest, please feel free to check them out. Now here is about the people metrics. Okay, I can see that. What's interesting is last year same quarter, by 31st of May, they had about 568,000 employees, which is now 710,000 employees, with an attrition rate of 20%. That means in last 4 quarter itself, at 20% rate, they have lost about 140,000 employees at max, but it is safe to assume 120,000 for sure. So their net addition is about 140,000, plus they replaced those 120,000 who went or who left Accenture. In a way, they hired about 260,000 employees in last 1 year. That's amazing, and you can see, you can feel that around you. Every now and then you will see Accenture is posting the jobs. You will get to hear the HR is reaching out to you. So just remember, what's very interesting and which is not there with other IT companies, I must tell you, look at their utilization ratio of 92%, very high. And this 92% utilization ratio tells you, 91% utilization ratio is telling you that the resources are full of work. They have ample amount of work. If you go there, don't worry about bench at all. In fact, they are struggling to find more people. That's happening at this level at the moment. Okay, and I must tell you one more thing. This 91% utilization ratio, if you compare it with the industry at the moment, this is way above. I can bet all the competitors are around 85%. So now let us hear the management commentary, what they say. Oh, okay. Somewhere I saw they have revised their full year guidance. I want to see that. Okay, let me search it. Yes, so I was saying they have revised their full year guidance for 2022. Here you can see Accenture updates business outlook for fiscal 2022, raises full year revenue growth to 25.5% to 26.5% in local currency, and the operating margin is around 15.2%. That's, they have been revising, for past many quarters, and they have shown that they are an outlier. I must tell you, if you look at the Indian IT industry, you will see the sharp contrast which is coming out in last 2-3 quarters. So please tell me, how do you like it? And if you found this useful, do not forget to hit and like and do comment. And if you want me to cover some of the interesting topics you have in your mind, please do write me in the comment box. With that, I'll conclude and I'll see you in the next video. Till that time, take care.